Am I the only one that didn't know a single deal could change the course of history overnight? It's almost surreal to think that, in just a matter of hours, the lives of thousands of people, families, children, entire communities, were transformed by a single agreement. The world has seen many peace deals, but rarely one that has such an immediate, visible impact on so many lives at once. It's as if the world collectively paused, holding its breath, and then exhaled in relief and disbelief. The ripple effects of this moment are already being felt far beyond the borders of Gaza and Israel, reaching into the hearts of people everywhere who have longed for a sign that peace is possible, even in the most entrenched conflicts. Why are more people talking about this? The air is electric with emotion, tears of joy, relief, and disbelief. In living rooms and city squares, people are glued to their screens, watching history unfold in real time. For some, it's the first good news in years. For others, it's a moment they never thought they'd see in their lifetime. The sense of collective catharsis is palpable, as if a heavy weight has been lifted, if only for a moment. Social media feeds are overflowing with heartfelt messages, videos of families reuniting, and spontaneous celebrations erupting in places that have known only fear and uncertainty for so long. This massive prisoner exchange between Israel and Hamas is dominating headlines across the globe, but the true scale of its impact is only just beginning to sink in. News anchors are scrambling to keep up, and social media is flooded with raw, emotional reactions from both sides of the conflict. The world's attention is fixed on the region, with every update dissected and debated by experts, politicians, and ordinary people alike. It's a rare moment when the world seems united in hope, if only briefly, and the sense that something truly historic is happening is impossible to ignore. Let's break down what just happened, because the details matter. The world just watched an unprecedented exchange in Gaza, one that's already being called a turning point in the region's history. The sheer logistics of the operation were staggering, involving months of secret negotiations, delicate coordination, and the ever-present risk that something could go wrong at the last minute. Yet against all odds, the deal held, and the world bore witness to a moment that will be studied and remembered for generations. 20 Israeli hostages, who had been held captive since the shocking Hamas attack in 2023, are finally free. Their release marks the end of a long nightmare for their families, who have spent months living in uncertainty, clinging to hope with every passing day. The stories emerging from these reunions are both heartbreaking and inspiring. Children running into the arms of parents they feared they'd never see again, spouses embracing after months of sleepless nights, and entire communities coming together to welcome their loved ones home. The relief is overwhelming, but so is the realization of just how much has been lost. The scenes at the border were heart-wrenching, families running to embrace loved ones, tears streaming down faces, the kind of raw emotion that words can barely capture. Some hostages stepped off the buses in disbelief, overwhelmed by the sudden return to freedom. For many, the world had changed while they were gone, and the process of healing and rebuilding their lives is only just beginning. The Red Cross vehicles, moving quietly in the background, were a silent testament to the international effort that made this moment possible. In return, Israel released almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners, including hundreds who had been held without formal charges. For many Palestinian families, this was a long-awaited moment of justice and relief. The streets of Ramallah and Gaza erupted in celebration as buses carrying prisoners arrived, greeted by crowds waving flags and chanting for peace. The sense of vindication and hope was unmistakable as families who had waited years, sometimes decades, were finally reunited. For some, it was the first time they had seen their loved ones as free people, and the joy was matched only by the determination to make this peace last. The International Red Cross played a crucial role in making this complex swap happen, coordinating between both sides and ensuring the safety of everyone involved. Their convoys moved quietly but efficiently, a reminder of the delicate trust required to pull off such a high-stakes operation. Behind the scenes, countless hours of negotiation, planning, and risk assessment went into every step, with the Red Cross acting as a rare bridge between two sides that have spent years locked in conflict. Their presence was a symbol of hope and impartiality, and their work will be remembered as a key factor in the success of this historic exchange. Emotions ran high on both sides. Joyful reunions in Hostages Square in Tel Aviv, where families who had been separated for months finally embraced, and in Palestinian cities, where the return of prisoners was met with jubilation and hope for a new beginning. The images of people waving flags, singing, and dancing in the streets are a powerful reminder of the human cost of conflict and the profound relief that comes when even a small measure of justice is achieved. For many, these scenes are a long overdue affirmation that peace is possible and that the sacrifices of the past have not been in vain. In Israel, the mood was one of cautious optimism, with people gathering in public squares to celebrate, while in Gaza and Ramallah, the night sky lit up with fireworks and cheers echoed through the streets. For a brief moment, the region was united in relief and hope. The celebrations were not just about the release of prisoners or hostages, they were about the possibility of a future without fear, a future where children can grow up without the constant threat of violence. The sense of unity, however fleeting, was a powerful antidote to the years of division and mistrust. This deal is more than just a prisoner exchange. It's the first step in a new peace plan, unveiled at a high-stakes summit in Egypt. The summit brought together leaders from across the globe, all determined to end a conflict that has claimed countless lives and left deep scars on both societies. The atmosphere in the conference hall was tense but hopeful, as diplomats and negotiators worked late into the night to hammer out the details of a plan that could finally bring lasting peace to the region. The stakes could not have been higher, and the world watched with bated breath as the outlines of a new future began to take shape. Brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump, the agreement was the result of months of secret negotiations, shuttle diplomacy, and intense pressure from the international community. The world watched as Trump and other leaders arrived in Cairo, determined to seize this rare opportunity for peace. The behind-the-scenes maneuvering was intense, with diplomats shuttling between capitals, intelligence agencies working overtime, and every word of the agreement scrutinized for hidden pitfalls. In the end, it was a combination of political will, international support, and sheer determination that made the deal possible. Leaders from over 20 countries gathered at the summit, standing shoulder to shoulder as they declared the war over after years of bloodshed. The signing of the peace agreement was met with a standing ovation, a moment that many hope will mark the beginning of a new era for the Middle East. The symbolism of so many nations coming together, some of whom have been adversaries for decades, was not lost on anyone. It was a powerful statement that even in a world divided by politics and ideology, there is still room for hope, compromise, and the shared desire for peace. But even as world leaders celebrated, not everyone found closure. The families of the 24 hostages still missing in Gaza are still waiting for answers, their pain a stark reminder that peace is never simple or complete. For these families, the joy of the day was bittersweet, overshadowed by the uncertainty and fear that their loved ones may never return. Their stories are a sobering reminder that, even in moments of triumph, there is still much work to be done. In Israel, families gathered for candlelight vigils, holding photos of their loved ones and praying for their safe return. The joy of the day was tempered by the knowledge that, for some, the nightmare continues. The sense of solidarity among these families is unbreakable, as they support each other through the darkest of times. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit, and their determination to keep searching for answers is a powerful reminder that peace is not just about treaties and agreements, it's about people, and the bonds that connect us all. Empty chairs at family gatherings, mothers weeping at border fences, and anxious faces waiting for news are a sobering counterpoint to the celebrations. The search for the missing continues, and their families refuse to give up hope. Every day brings new rumors, new leads, and new disappointments, but the determination to bring everyone home is unwavering. The pain of not knowing is almost unbearable, but it is matched by the hope that one day their loved ones will walk through the door and the family will be whole again. The agreement comes with tough conditions. Hamas is being pushed to disarm, a demand that has sparked heated debate within Palestinian society. Some see it as a necessary step toward peace, while others fear it could weaken their position in future negotiations. The debate is fierce, with passionate arguments on both sides, and the outcome is far from certain. What is clear, however, is that the decision will have far-reaching consequences for the future of the region and for the prospects of lasting peace. Meanwhile, international teams are preparing to help rebuild war-torn Gaza. Engineers, aid workers, and diplomats are already on the ground, assessing the damage and planning the massive reconstruction effort that lies ahead. The scale of the destruction is staggering. Entire neighborhoods flattened, infrastructure in ruins and basic services barely functioning. But the determination to rebuild is strong, and the international community has pledged billions in aid to help Gaza rise from the ashes. The road ahead will be long and difficult, but the first steps have already been taken. The challenges are enormous. Entire neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble, and basic infrastructure like water, electricity, and schools must be rebuilt from scratch. But for the first time in years, there's a sense of hope. Children are playing in the streets again, and families are daring to dream of a better future. Community members are coming together to clear debris, plant trees, and rebuild homes, determined to create a new beginning for themselves and their children. The resilience of the people of Gaza is nothing short of remarkable, and their hope is contagious. Hope is back on the table. The sunrise over Gaza feels different today, as if the whole region is holding its breath, waiting to see if this fragile peace can hold. People are lighting candles for peace, releasing doves, and praying that this time things will be different. The sense of possibility is everywhere, from the smallest villages to the largest cities, as people dare to imagine a future without war. The world is watching, and the people of Gaza and Israel are determined to prove that peace is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The world is watching closely as this historic peace process unfolds. Journalists are preparing for live reports, and every new development is being analyzed for signs of progress or setbacks. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the next few weeks will be critical in determining whether this fragile truce can become a lasting peace. The eyes of the world are on the region, and every decision, every action, will be scrutinized for its potential to either build on this moment or unravel it. The pressure is immense, but so is the hope that this time, things will be different. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coverage. We'll be following every twist and turn of this story, bringing you updates, analysis, and voices from the ground as the people of Israel, Gaza, and the world take their first steps toward a new chapter in history. This is more than just a news story. It's a testament to the power of hope, the resilience of the human spirit, and the possibility of change, even in the most unlikely of places. Stay with us as we witness history in the making, and as we continue to hope for a future defined not by conflict, but by peace and understanding.